Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Craft Round the Clock to Dress Your Door. You don't know what all you're going to possibly see today, but I am Cheryl from M&C Treasures, and we are going to have a long day of dressing your door for probably just all kinds of seasons, maybe not just spring or maybe not just Easter. I'm actually going to do a spring Eastery type craft. So I hope that as you jump on, you'll let me know you're here. And make sure that in the description of my video is the link for Craft Around the Clock. And you guys can go there and join, and they will get you in. Hello, Kendra. Hello, Deb Kraus. How are you guys? Hello, Miss Patty. Hello, Pam Hicks. So, guys, today's segments are mostly 30 minutes long. It's a little bit shorter than we usually do, but we wanted to get a lot of different variety in there for you. My comments are horrible on my phone. Mr. Mike will be in just a second. Hello, Daryl. Hello, Miss Glenda O'Farrell. How are you? Good morning, hon. So I will see some of them as they're rolling on the top of my screen, but once I get busy, I forget to look up there. So you'll have to forgive me, and we'll go from there. Hello, Miss Susan. Hi, Darlia. Hi, Cindy Wheeler. Welcome. Good morning. So, like I said, Mr. Mike will be in, and he will hopefully catch up a little bit on comments, but we're going to jump right into what we're going to do. Hello, Miss Juanita and Pat Raleigh. Okay, guys, I love to recycle things. There's no sense in putting them in a landfill somewhere. So we have been, since we've moved, we've been getting lots of things in the mail because we live so far from everywhere, just everywhere. Hello, Brooke. Hey, Rhonda. This is just packing material that came in an Amazon box. It's just brown craft paper, like the old brown paper bags. I mean, you can still get brown paper bags, but not as much. Hey, Joe. But it is all wadded up, and I'm okay with that because wrinkles, that's just, I'm wrinkled and I'm okay. So I think I am. My husband thinks I am. But what I did is I took it and I straightened it out pretty good. Now, I took two pieces. If you know, it just happened to be that that's what was there. I am just going to hold these together. If you want, you can start out by doing it a little bit different. I'll tell you two little options. One is you can do your outline with glue. Good morning, Miss Mary. You can do your outline with glue and then cut around it afterwards. I'm not crazy on doing it that way. So I kind of do double duty. I kind of cut it the first time, and then I also do it after the fact too. Hi, Imogene. How are you this morning, hon? This little bunny right here is done out of the same stuff. If you missed the video on him, I did it the other night. You can go back and catch it on my live or ask me for the bunny link, and I can get you that after I'm off today. But you do want two layers of exactly the same thing. Now, I have done a little bit of prep work, but this one, and I'm just going to start cutting. Now, we're making a carrot, guys. And carrots aren't always just like a teardrop. They can be wonky. They can be curvy, you know, bumpy. And that's why I'm not real worried about the wrinkles in the paper. Hey, Mel, good morning. Hey, Karen Owens, good morning. Guys, I know I am missing a bunch of people, but it's hard to craft and look down and look up at the same time. Hello, Miss Jennifer from Cheese Crafty USA. All right, now you can make them all sizes. I would not suggest, I'm going to use 3 carrots today. I would not suggest doing all of your carrots the same length because you just want a little bit of difference in there to make them kind of look like. Now, as you notice, I'm kind of doing curvy lines, straight line. I'm not doing any real straight lines. At the top, I am going to flatten it off a little bit. And like I said, we can trim it after we get it completely done, which we will want to.
Hey, Pat. Hey, Babs. Babs, we are going to be getting the bad weather later this afternoon, approximately between 2 and 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah, we're supposed to get that Texas mess that you guys sent us. Thank you. Not. We had it the last 2 nights, and now we're going to get it this afternoon again. So
hey,
my head
Vicky.
is like thumping like crazy.
Hey, Nancy. Hey, Jackie.
All right. So see my carrots kind of fat at the top. And if you want your skinnier carrots, if you know, If you're into the skinny carrots, like baby carrots are usually skinnier, so we just chop a little bit more off.
Hey,
Now,
Wanda Freeman.
hey, Miss Wanda, if you've got time to let these dry naturally, I would suggest using either Elmer's School Glue or Fabri-Tac. If you don't, I would suggest using hot glue. There's going to be a disclaimer on the hot glue mess. Hello, Mr. Brian. How are you? He's going to be on later today, guys. You don't want to miss him. You don't want to miss any of my crafty brothers and sisters that are on today.
Hey, Debbie K.
If you do the hot glue and you're going to plan on crackling, which we are not this morning, this little bunny has crackle on it. That's where I remembered and found out. And you're trying to dry your glue a little bit or dry your top coat, it's going to make your project separate, because when you heat up that hot glue, it gets liquid again and it's going to go right on through. Now, I'm just going to take, and I'm going to leave the top part open because you want to be able to stuff it. So I am actually going to use some Fabri-Tac. It is because it doesn't do that little bulge in there like hot glue does. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it definitely glues more than hot glue or, just fabric. It's called Fabri-Tac, but it is a permanent hold once it gets there, and it does dry clear. So if you're not familiar with it, you can get it at Walmart. You can get it at Hobby Lobby. I get mine off Amazon because it's a ways for us all to go everywhere. Hello, Cindy.
Hello, Janet G from Pennsylvania. She's a newbie.
Welcome, Janet. Now watch, I put this on upside down. I almost did.
Hello, Rita. Thank you for the weather from Texas.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you, all my sisters and brothers from Texas. I just love you so much.
Good morning, Mary Clayton.
I do
Nicole
love you guys.
P. Luann, Mary Snyder, Nicole Pierce.
Now, I'm going to do this two different ways. I'm going to show you. I'm going to leave it open at the top. And like I said, we're going to have to stuff it. We are going to paint this before we stuff it on this one. And I will show you, it may make a difference. I haven't done it this way, so I don't know. I usually wait until after I stuff it. And if we pop open a seam, we'll just be able to stick a little bit of hot glue in there and catch it back up. So, because you will stuff this with like a polyfill or something. And like I said, you can cut off. This will make like a little flat ridge by gluing it on the end, to where we're just gluing it and putting the two pieces together. But you can always trim most of that back off. And now that we've got them matched up, I'm just trimming them somewhat the same. And if we need to retrim it, we can.
Good morning, Chris C. Good morning, Cindy's Creation.
Okay. So like I said, if you've got time, I would use Fabri-Tac, and then I would lay something heavy on it and let it dry all the way. Now I have mixed, I did not have any burnt orange, which is what I really wanted. So I mix some apple barrel pumpkin and apple barrel nutmeg, just acrylic paint. And the reason I say do it this way is you don't have all the little ridges and folds that happen when you stuff something and it puckers a little bit. You don't have all of that to where your paintbrush doesn't go over it real smooth.
Cindy's Creations had a tornado touchdown 5 miles from them last night.
Oh, girl, don't tell me that. I know my mom has been having horrible tornado watches and stuff. My niece lives in Oklahoma, which they always get tons of it. I grew up in Arkansas, so I know all about Tornado Alley. I can't tell you how many times parts of our town got wiped off the face of the earth growing up.
Good morning, Susan Sins from Ohio, first-time watcher.
Welcome, everyone. If you're new to me, we would love to have you be a friend and family member, which is what we call you after you tap the screen and go to those three little dots up in the right-hand corner and do that follow one time. We don't call you those anymore because we don't like that word.
WC, it is not raining in our part of Tennessee.
Not quite yet. It was all morning long till about 6 o'clock this morning. It started around a little after midnight, but we didn't have anything except high straight winds. They didn't claim that there were any tornadoes in the area. All right. So
Good
I'm
morning,
just going to lay this
Jennifer.
off to the side, and I'm going to show you something. I'll show you one that's already done, but we will come back to this one because we're going to use this mumbo jumbo. But you see all the crinkles because carrots coming out of the ground, guys, they're not clean. They're not smooth. They're not pretty sometimes.
Why don't we go outside and rub a little red clay on them then?
This is one of them I've already done. Now this one, like I said, see how it puckers when you fill it up? I will paint the back. I just did the front. You want to be careful of how much paint you put on these. Remember, it is paper. And if it saturates too much, it doesn't do too well. And like I said, that's another reason I wanted to try it that way. I haven't done any of painting before I stuffed, but there's there's the back of it. And see, this guy's a little bit smaller and he's a little crooked. And that's okay because carrots aren't all straight. Now,
Good morning, Lisa. She's a first-time watcher from Northwest Arkansas.
Northwest Arkansas, so over in the Fayetteville area. Welcome.
Good morning, Tina Doyle. Tina Doyle, we are in Northeast Tennessee, about 35 miles northeast of Knoxville.
Yeah, about an hour north of Pigeon Forge and Sevierville and Dollywood, hour and a half maybe north of Gatlinburg. This is Miss Tracy's coffee grunge, guys. I'm almost out. And you saw me shake it. It does settle, the cinnamon and stuff settle to the bottom. And if you heat it up a little bit, take the ring off of it because you can't put metal in your microwave, and put it in for a few seconds. I usually do, if it's this much in a liquid in a jar, I usually do it for like 45 seconds. And it will get clunky and stuff. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use some of that on here.
Jackie, please be safe today. She is in Michigan, and they're supposed to get 6 to 10 inches of the white stuff this afternoon.
I heard I have a son that lives in the city of Chicago and one that lives in the suburbs of Chicago. And they both said they're supposed to get snow today and tomorrow. So.
Good morning, Mara S. From southwestern Ontario, Canada.
You're not going to see much of a difference, but we'll add some dirt, so to speak. You could use real dirt if you want, but we're going to use cinnamon.
Good morning, Catherine Wood from Glasgow, Kentucky.
Welcome. Got some Southern girls going on in here too. And the lady that was from the Fayetteville or Northwest Arkansas. I was born in Blytheville and lived in Blytheville all my life growing up until I was 17, and then I went north to Michigan.
Good morning.
All right. So let's see how it's wet. While it's wet, go ahead and put a little bit of extra, and you don't have to do it in all over. I'm just going to do some like little lines.
Good morning, Ocean Breezes and me.
You know those little creases?
Good morning, Lulu Bell's Hot Mess Creations.
He'll get you right one of these days, Miss Annabelle.
And Joellen S. from Maine they have 24 inches in the past 3 days.
Oh my goodness, girl. And they said that like New York was supposed to this is supposed to be their worst snowfall of the season. All right, so we're just going to we did that one. And like I said, it doesn't change that orange too much unless your coffee grunge is really thick. I did thin mine out a little bit because it was super thick and I might have got it thinner than I wanted. Hello, Wanda Howe. And you don't have to put the coffee grunge on everywhere. If you want a contrast, you can just do it, here and there. It's totally up to you.
Good morning, Tish Campbell from TLC Country Creation. She lives in Nebraska.
Welcome from the heartland. But guys, there are, like I said, you have lots of opportunities to find ways to dress your door today on Kraft Around the Clock. Be sure you're in there because it's an everyday occurrence that you're going to have live crafting pretty much from 6 a.m. until around 10 Central every single day and a lot on the weekends.
Christina H. says it's flooding in northeast Arkansas.
Oh, no. That means the mighty Mississippi is angry. Okay. And like I said, if you don't want to put any extra cinnamon on it, you do you.
And Lisa Gordon, she lives between Harrison and Eureka Springs, about 30 minutes from Branson. Sorry about that.
Yep, you're up there in North Central. My mom still lives in Central Arkansas, down by Conway, and I have a sister that lives just outside of Little Rock. So, see, I did put a little bit more dirt on there, and that's what I'm calling my cinnamon because we want our carrots to look a little dirty.
And unique is we're getting another 10 inches tonight and tomorrow. Had 12 inches a couple days ago.
And Miss Pat is in Canada. So it's getting everybody on that side of the country, it seems like.
Cindy F says it's raining in Illinois right now.
Well, where we were in Chicagoland, it probably would have been, just not just raining. It probably would have been everything. Now you can dry this. Like I said, these two are not done with hot glue. And that last one we did, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some jute that I've unwound. And let me just show you. If you have a piece of jute, you can unwind. This is a bigger piece. So if you've got bigger carrots, you can untwist the little phrase of jute. And you know what that looks like to me after that's done?
Good
It
morning,
looks
Debbie
like little
Lee.
roots is what I'm thinking. Hello, my bestie Sheila.
Hey, Mary Schneider.
So because these are pretty much dry, that coffee grunge dries really fast, guys. I am just going to put a little dab of glue, and I'm going to use hot glue. Now, you might want to grunge these up some, but carrots, when they come out of the ground, they're not all pretty and shiny. That's what we've all done to them. But I'm going to put some little things on it to make them look, and I probably will not put many on the front. They'll mostly come from the back so that they'll still look like the roots to the carrot.
Hey, my bestie Sheila.
And we will put those on, and you can cut those up any direction. But if you want to get, some, and I can still paint the back of this, which I will. But if it's hanging on your door, unless you've got a door that's got a mirror on it, you won't see it anyway. Or not a mirror, a window. I guess your door could have a mirror on it too.
And Darla from My Sweet Home Living put the recipe up on.
Darla is not from My Sweet Home Living. Tracy is, but we all use Tracy's formula, which is 1 cup of hot water to a quarter cup of
to a half a cup
a cup of instant coffee. Thank you, dear.
2 tablespoons of vanilla, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon.
And you can, if you don't have cinnamon, guys, you can substitute cloves, or you can substitute. But see, we got some little roots hanging down here, and I am going to just take my Kraft coffee grunge and get them to where they're not that bright tan color.
Catherine Wood said they're supposed to have 60-mile-an-hour winds today.
Yeah, we had at the airport in Knoxville, which is really close to us, we had 85-mile-an-hour winds 2 or 3 days ago, and it was the highest they had ever had. So see how your little roots will hang from your carrot? You don't have to put those on if you don't like the looks of them. I think they're kind of cute. Gives them some character.
Josephine Terry got a notification that they are under a tornado watch in Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Be careful, sweetheart. Those, like I said, I grew up in Northeast Arkansas and over by Jonesboro and Blytheville, and it is not funny when they tell you tornado watch. You better watch out for sure.
Good morning, Brian. We have a watcher from Texas by the name of Carrie Hofer. Hopefully I said that right.
If he butchered your name, Miss Carrie, I'm sorry. I did not see you, so I don't know.
Fox and Smocks, hello.
Hello, Miss Jennifer. Okay, so we're just giving each one of our carrots a little bit of roots coming off of them. And like I said, I'll go back and I can coffee grunge those. I showed you how I did it on the first one, okay?
And if you don't know the bird in the background, that's our African gray Shakespeare.
That's Mr. Shakespeare. Okay, this one is almost dry. The one we started with, or when we first went live. So now I take, if you don't have polyfill, go buy a $3 or $4 pillow at Walmart. One of their cheapos, because you can open it up and it's full of fiberfill. I just happen to have polyfill because I got some when my mom downsized her Kraft stash. If you're doing this wet, be really, really careful. It will poke right through your paper.
Good morning, Ria. She is from South Africa watching us today.
Welcome, Ria. Thank you.
And Carrie Hofer says, is that paper?
Yes, it is brown craft paper that we got out of an Amazon box that they use for stuffing. Now, be careful when you poke. I usually use the blunt end of a real long paintbrush. You can use whatever you want. Depends on what size your carrots are. or whatever you're stuffing. Like I said, I did a rabbit the other day. I wanted to see if you could crackle this. Yes, you can. We found that out. Like I said, I can show you the apple. I can show you the rabbit before we're done again. And if this gets a little wrinkled up as you're stuffing it, don't worry. If you bust a seam, you can always go back and put a little bit more polyfill in. But I want to get this stuffed rather a little, and you don't want it real poofy. You just want it to have a little bit of dimension. Okay, so it's just like a little envelope. And then this one I am going to glue together with hot glue just for sake of time and so that I'll go ahead and do it. Hi, Willene. How are you? And I am going to leave a little spot about the size of 1 or 2 fingers. Hello, Miss Joey from Created in Awe. I can't even talk this morning. And then I want to show you guys what I do to kind of get to where it looks a little bit more like something that's growing. If you were doing these in material, you could do them and flip them. I will tell you that this craft paper that I have is a little stiff for flipping. I tried to do one and flipped it, and it tore all the pieces. Now, you see how wide these seams are here? You can always take your scissors and cut about half of that off. You don't want to cut on the inside of it because you will lose your glue adhesion. But see the difference between this little seam and this real wide seam? And I think it just looks a little bit better with some of that real wide flat stuff, but it gives you some, so if you start with a little bit larger than you want to end up with, that would be good. And guys, like I said, okay, see what I did? I cut and it was not even glued good enough, obviously. I cut on the inside, so I just take my little hot glue tool. I squirt a little bit in there, let it dry for just a second so I don't burn my fingers. Good morning, Erica. Hey, Joyce. And then I just pinch it together. Okay. Now we're going to try to get the rest of that a little bit off and without doing the same thing again. But that's the difference between working with something that you're gluing together that you're not going to flip and something that you're going to flip, like if you're doing a actual sewing stitch or something like that. Okay, let's get rid of those. All right. And of course, where I used the hot glue, I didn't get the polyfill cut back down in there. So I got to get this little piece of fuzz off because carrots don't come out of the ground with fuzz. Okay. Now I am not going to put my coffee grunge on this one. I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to finish it off real quick so you'll be able to see a finished product. I am going to take each one of them that I've left a tiny spot at the top to stuff greenery down in. I have a floral pick. It's just a Boston fern from Walmart, and I'm just going to take some of the tops off of it. Doesn't look a whole lot like a carrot, but it's better than nothing. If you don't have that, you could use some little boxwood pieces, anything to kind of give it a little bit of greenery at the top. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to put 3 of these. I like odd numbers. So one I'm going to make a little shorter because I don't want them all the same length again. Hey, Glenda Frazier. So we're just going to do a couple of them a little bit different lengths. And then we're going to put them down in that little hole that I created. And you just kind of work them in there. You just kind of have to be careful again if you're using hot glue and plastic or the silk do okay. The plastic flowers, they tend to melt the little stem when you push them down in there. Hello, Gabriel. Gabriella, sorry. My bad. Hello, Darlia from Darche Designs. Okay, so there's some little, and we're going to do that to all 3 of them. If I don't drop my carrots in the coffee grunge. They'll just be really grungy if I do that, won't they? Just taking off a little bit of these again. I would, if you start with one kind of greenery, I would stick with it. If you're going to do a whole like door thing like this, I definitely would. Hello, Miss Kathy from Farmhouse Glitter. She's another one of our crafty sisters. Because it would look weird if you've got one with boxwood and one with everything else. You know, with a different kind of green, because it would look like they weren't the same carrot. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I don't grow carrots, guys. I don't know if all carrots have the same type of green stuff at the top. Miss Tracy got a garland that was beautiful for carrot tops from Hobby Lobby, and they should be on sale next week. Only problem is my Hobby Lobby is like an hour away. So I don't think and I haven't been to one since we moved in December. I haven't been to a Hobby Lobby or a Michael's or a Joann's. Okay, so there's what we've got so far. Now, I'm going to do the last one real quick so we can put the whole thing together for you. And this is our largest carrot that we did. So again, I'm just taking 3 little pieces of greenery just because I like odd numbers. Hey, Doreen. Hello, Kelly Weiss. How are you? And guys, I do go back and read my comments. So if you have any questions, and like I said, if you want the link to my live that I did for the bunny, which I'll show you guys, right? And you can do it at any time. I'm doing this one big carrot without the coffee grunge, and you guys can see if you like it better. So you'll know which way both of them look. And then you can do it however. And I can go back and coffee grunge this big one because all 3 of mine will be coffee grunged to make them look a little bit more rustic. Then I'm just going to kind of group them together. I got roots hanging everywhere. Okay. And then we're just going to I've got some longer pieces of raffia, and you can always cut this off later. And I've got some that's kind of mixed with a little bit of Excelsior. I didn't think I had any Excelsior left. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue at the top here and put this on the largest one, because the largest one is kind of the one in the background. But here's the difference. This one has not been coffee grunged, and that one has, with a little bit of extra cinnamon. So not a ton of difference, but you can see it if you look.
And I'm sorry that I didn't get those names as they were scrolling by my wife, but whenever the dogs think that she's unalive, they're just like little kids. They have to go do something, and they had to go outside and just stand there and sniff the air.
Yeah, because they'd just gone out. So now I am just gluing mine together. If you wanted, you could wire them together, but I don't want them all at the same height all the way up. You know, I don't want them, all the greens even. So we're just pulling them down, and I am just putting a little puddle of hot glue behind each one. Now, like I said, I'll go back and paint the back orange. But this is just something cute that if you've got brown paper bags, like I said, most places don't have them anymore. There are a few that are still out there that you can get them at. Go ahead.
No, it's telling a half hour, right? 2 minutes.
Okay, this is just a little raffia bow that I put together, and we are going to finish off the very front of it. But I do want some of these long pieces behind it. And again, I try not to cut anything the same length all the time, because then it looks, if you get one off, then it looks like you made a mess. And I make enough messes without it. Hey, Kay. So guys, again, if you're not following Kraft Around the Clock, we would love to have you there, and you will find all kinds of great creations and lots of inspiration. And especially today, Fridays, we've been doing some fun theme days. We haven't been doing weeks. We've just been doing Friday days, and those are amazing. Let me just hold this here a second. And then I will just put a little loop of jute on the back, and my raffia looks pretty wild right now, but it'll hang down. Let me grab my little jute hanger, and we will put that on. So you guys.
I would also like to thank you for the stars, the good emojis, and also thank you for the stars, Babs.
Thanks, Babs, sweetheart. You are so sweet. All right. I'm just going to, on the back one, and if they hang a little bit crooked, guys, that's okay too. Because who says that that it has to be a certain way to hang? So I'm just making a little loop with jute on the back of here. And because these are not real heavy, I don't see the need to put a little piece of material or ribbon or anything there to help disperse the weight. It's just polyfill and brown paper sacks. Okay, so I just did a little loop on the back so that when you want to hang it on your door, you can. And again, this is the difference. This one has not been coffee grunged, and these have. And they just look lumpy, and that's okay. And right before we leave here, this is the little bunny that I did, proving that I could crackle on paper the other night on a live. So if you want that, just put bunny in the comment, and I will send you the link for that. And I put wire in her ears so that you could bend them whichever way you wanted. And then she just has a little jute hanger on the back too. But so I didn't stuff her ears. Like I said, they just have wire in them so that, but that it does show you that you can do all kinds of cute little things for your doors.
And the bunny's name is Bunny B. Kraken.
Yes, that's Bunny B. Kraken. The ladies named her the other day. So you guys make sure Miss Tracy is next for My Sweet Home Living. She is the mastermind behind Kraft Round the Clock. And her page is My Sweet Home Living. So make sure you just refresh in Kraft Round the Clock, or you can go directly to her page. So you guys have an awesome day. God bless you and happy crafting.